Hey guys, it's Eddie from Food for Thought. In the yard with the kids. We've got two of the kids here. Actually, the third one was cutting down a tree, part of a tree here, a cedar tree, that I want to get out of. Just showing you parts of the plans that I'm doing for this year. Getting rid of the yard waste, or this pile, the lowest parts, has been in here for like 4 or 5 months. It's really starting to compost well, but I'm creating a hotbed. So I'll pause it from here and I'll take you from here down to the hotbed and explain to you what I'm doing. Right. This is actually a shout out. I should have mentioned it before. To Dirt Patch Heaven. I watched her video, contacted her about hotbeds, how she does it. She's got them in the green bed, in the greenhouse. I don't have a greenhouse, so I'm doing a slight different way of doing it here. So what I'm going to do, I've had a base of wood limbs. It's like hugelkultur, building up the soil, building up around a pile of wood, so that wood rots eventually. So I've got a pile of wood limbs in there, and then on top of that I had sawdust. So again, wood carbonation process. And then on top of that, I'm taking the manure, the compost pile that I've started here, and I've actually, obviously, you see I've got hay bales. Instead of Dirt Patch Heaven had like everything on top, which I will have, and I've got hay bales like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there. I'm just going to have a line of compost on top to start my hay bale garden. But the hay bale garden here, the way I'm going to try the hotbed is that I'm going to build a frame around the hay bales, and then the first part of the carbonation that's from the compost goes in there right to this level, because as that's breaking down, it will still create heat. Then keep obviously I want to. It's March, middle of March in Ontario. There's a good chance we're still going to get storm. So that goes on there, and then I'll build up a little bit, about 2 or 3 inches of manure on top of all the hay bale, and then on top of that will be a very well go into the local city compost pile and get a really well composted compost on top of that, and that's what I'm going to be putting my seedlings into. And then hopefully I'm either going to build a hoop, like a hoop house, with plastic tubing and a 6mm polythene on top to keep the heat in, because obviously if that's generating heat, I want that heat to stay in at night time, and see how that works. So this is the start of it. I obviously continue the story later on. This will obviously be a video for another time to continue that as it's finishing. I'll show you how I'm going to finish it off, but this is just the start to show what I'm going to try. Okay, thanks very much guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Well, as you see, the hotbed is now full on the top. I've just got to get compost to fill the bottom pit. Part of my kids' bikes, but these are the other 5 bales of hay that I'm going to have the hay garden, hay bed. I'm going to have down in this corner here. We always get bad drainage there, so we're going to get another bed there, and also down there another bed, sort of a 4x4 bed there. I'll fill the bottom of it with sawdust, so it acts like a sponge, so any of the water that does sit there will get soaked up with it, and then start to obviously deteriorate, and just like the hugel garden, it'll suck up all the water like a sponge. These here are my blackberry plants that nature gave me a few years back. I have one little stem that some bird pooped down, and then they just keep coming back every year. So I've ripped out dogwood bush, put 3 more compost containers here. I cut down the conifer tree, the cedar that was in that corner. I'm going to drag that all out and see what I'm going to do with that. It might just be storage. because I've got a big tarp there. It's covering my lawnmower and the bikes. They were, but my kids have had the bikes out this weekend, seeing it was a decent weekend. Moving around, obviously that's the back of the rabbitry. That was the big compost pile. It's going to be a corn bed. I'm going to have the three sisters, corn, bean and squash. And then once I've got the other beds made, that compost pile gets into the other ones. But that one's a very, very old one. That one has been started to get built up since last May. So there's compost in there is nearly a year old, 10 months old. So that's going to be really rich. So that's going to be a nice compost. Get that moved out into the beds. And let's continue seeing. I'm not a gardener. This is the first year I've actually looked at doing this. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'll continue on with what's happening later. I'll keep you updated. So let me turn that around. So this is Eddie from Food for Thought. Just a little view of the start of we had got rid of our snow last week, and we're gonna move on past that. Hopefully not another storm, but all day I've had geese flying north, which is a really cool sign because they're heading that direction, they're heading this direction. It's going to be warm. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll show you all the different plans of what we're doing after that. So take care, Eddie. Bye bye for now. See ya.